the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Back on this rap-ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't miss my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own, tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues. Guess if you ain't at the table, you on the menu, and I'm that spitter, baby. They don't want you to see, but everybody's out to Capitol Hill's rocking with me. Boys smoke the trays and ponder getting their life together. I'm comfortable with my role, so I'm like, whatever. I ain't got a job, but I work hard. And you don't work hard, but you got a job. The irony is I'm judged while you feel the applause. I'm slept on, that's why I had to set this alarm. My dudes is armed, I'm armed with this arm charm. Body banging like she got that cream from Barry Bonds. Yeah,
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
X-ray season is here, a real hitter with a mic, I'm everything that they fear. With that, hood ain't the same, I was all on their ass, I'm level-headed. So yo, my dudes love when I spaz, and I'm so over Seattle's passive-aggressive attitude. They don't call you back, what they really saying is F you. While I'm from the same place, I move at a different pace. I prefer if you just said it to my face, damn, I did it.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Average dudes with they average spit, writing average rhymes, knocking average chicks. The closer I get, I can feel the people starting to shit. I'm loyal to a fault, and everybody can't come with. Rap's a rich man's game, I'm only playing with change. They bang models and singers, I'm knocking my old flame, I'm different. The crowd, I move with the chosen few. Black thoughts, I could be the front man for the roots. No diamonds and gold, I'm on my sticks and stones. If we can see your panty line, you should have on a thong. My team is strong, through this fire we forged a bond. And they already know what it is when I get on. To the hearse, party like it's December 31st. When I'm on my deathbed, I probably cracking my nurse. You ain't got the bars to compete, I'm a verbal athlete. Deflating these boys so they say that I cheat. Damn, I did it.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Yeah, I should probably start by apologizing for the long wait, man. You know, I know I be tripping, but I'm not just a rapper, I'm an artist. And, you know, my creative process is a little bit different than most. Nonetheless, I want to welcome everybody out to the Dre's Experience. I got TCF in the building, my whole camp's here with me. I got the band in here laying this cool-ass vibe. And I'm Seattle's own. Let's get into it.
I just wanna live. God protect me. I just wanna live. I just wanna live.
Grand Rising and good morning to all of y'all beautiful folks out there. Happy Tuesday to ya. Welcome to the Morning Update Show. I am your co-host, Trey Holiday. And of course, you guys know right here in this beautiful building, I got to bring my co-host with the most, Big O, into the picture. What up, Big O?
Trey Holiday, how are you?
Good, good. Happy Tuesday, my friend.
Yeah, happy Tuesday to you too. And man, these images from this the lobby out here look crispy. Ooh. I saw the replay yesterday. I was like, woo.
Yeah,
it's
nice.
Looking good. Good morning. I want to welcome everybody to the iconic and historic Paramount Theater right here near downtown Seattle. This is the perfect opportunity for you to tag and share the stream. Go ahead and tag and share the stream with people who you feel would appreciate culturally relevant news and information emanating from right here in the Emerald City. Want to give a big shout out to our partners over at the South Seattle Emerald, as well as KBCS 91.3 over at Bellevue College. Want to remind everybody that you can listen to the Morning Update Show anywhere that you find your favorite podcast. They put a link right there to SoundCloud, but you can also go to Google, iTunes, Spotify. Just search Converge Media Networks. Today is election day, and it's all about no excuses. A great way that you can support Black-owned independent media while letting people know it's no excuses is go to whereweconverge.com/shop. There it is up there on the screen right now. And we're going to talk about voting more here in a second. But always want to remind people that the COVID-19 vaccine is readily available here in King County, really across the state of Washington. We got a link there in the comments if you're looking to get vaccinated. And they've made it pretty easy here in King County, Trey Holiday. Like they'll even come to your house if need be. There's all kinds of different scenarios for people that are seeking a vaccination.
Yeah, they are eliminating the barriers for sure. They want to make sure that everybody has access to this vaccine as it comes across for them. And I think that it really is a true testament to some of the ways that we've been leading in that regard when it comes to COVID and when it comes to this pandemic. So, go out there, you guys. There's plenty of information if you guys are looking to get the vaccine.
Yeah, no, it's definitely out there. And again, we have, I think it's getting updated today. This motion graphic is getting stale. We'll put it up there though. You can go to whereweconverge.com/post. And we've had our vaccination stories. I think that we're going to pick up a few here today at the Paramount. We really just want to be able to talk to people who've been vaccinated and people who are hesitant about vaccination and kind of feel it out, see where everybody's at. I mean, the vaccinated have made their choice. They've gotten vaccinated. We want to talk to them as to why and get more information as to the people who are hesitant.
I think one of the things that I find really funny about this is the mystery behind it all, right? You got some folks who are like, well, I don't even want to say whether I got it or not. I think that's really interesting because this really is bringing on its own characteristics when it comes to the general discourse. So love that we're being able to pick up on those perspectives out there.
All right. Today is election day. It is election day. The primaries, man. I mean, I'm excited. I'm almost Director Julie Wise excited right now. You know what I'm saying? As soon as we leave here, I'm gonna go put my ballot in the box. I mean, I really look forward to voting.
Yeah, I remember the piece that we ran in the last election. Clearly, your excitement is felt throughout. Lots of us right here on the Converge staff really did feel the same. And you know what? We stay so close to all of these issues. This is a time for me where I have been the most engaged in the political arena. So I share your excitement. I share your sentiments.
Yeah, I mean, and for me, all the people who've been sitting here, like, you can't just be in comments and stuff. And like Seattle could be a real critical city at times, especially like on the internet. Like it goes ham out here. You feel me? We can't just be a city though that is critical of other people and electeds and things like that and not vote. You have to vote. And this election is very important, especially on the local side. A lot of people wonder about the things that impact them locally. This election right here is important. And for those of us that live in the municipality here in the Emerald City, man, we've got this is important. You got a mayor, you got 2 citywide city council members, and you got a city attorney that, they're all up on the chopping block.
It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I mean, we've been talking about this from the gate. And honestly, I don't know, man. Some of this stuff is getting real close. I'm seeing signs all over the place representing and supporting so many of these candidates, man. We don't know. This is a hot race.
Well, it definitely is. A message here from SDOT with their Safe Streets survey. And so basically the Safe Streets, that's the sidewalk cafes that we've seen pop up through COVID. They want your feedback as to how you feel about them, all from regular citizens to business owners. We got a link there in the comments about the Safe Street. You already said you're a big fan of you said you'd be out there at that street cafe, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's, what it is. I love the innovation. I've said it a lot of times, but I think that one of the things that really has come out of the pandemic is people finding a way through it. And for me, I realize that that's also showcases a lot of our progress. When we look throughout history, so many things were pushed to the limit or changed or, reformatted because of things like this. And we're seeing that with the restaurant industry.
Right. No, for sure. And you know what? I got to take a step back. We got a whole bunch of guests here today.
Yeah.
You ready over there, Mr. Director, Mr. Everard? Okay. So our guest today, we've got Justin Carter, Capitol Hill Seattle blog. Welcoming Justin back to the set.
Yeah.
This is probably our longest guest on the morning update show, at least one of them. We've also got Jerry Brewer, the columnist with the Washington Post, and also a member of the SABJ. We've got Adam Zacks, who's the chief programming officer here with Seattle Theater Group. Then we've got Shakiah. Shakiah's going to be performing. Shakiah performed in our other studio. Shakiah's performing. And then after Shakiah, we've got Cool Nutz.
Yeah.
So we've got a packed house. So we're moving it along right here. And actually, this campaign is still going. We need to get Jake to 10,000. That's
Unbelievable, man. He's the best player in the world. I'm glad he's on my side. And going into a game 7, you want the best player in the world on your side.
The backyard got mountains in it. I do not move until my accountant finish. Big mason jars, each one an ounce.
all right. Here we go. So Jake at 10,000, you always do it better than me.
Hey, you guys got to follow our guy, Jake. Walk.into.the.light right there on Instagram. Let's get our guy across that threshold, man. 10,000 is a huge benchmark on IG. You know what I mean? Let's help Jake get there.
Nah, for sure we'll do that. We're going to take a quick break right now. When we come back, we're joined by Justin Carter of Capitol Hill Seattle blog. You're watching the Morning Update Show.
Hey Seattle, if you're trying to find something to do this summer, I got the perfect thing for you. Come on down to Seattle Waterfront's Pier 62 and enjoy free, yes free, family-friendly events all summer long, like art, dance, music, storytelling. And if you're trying to get that body right before the summer is over, you might as well join their free yoga and fitness classes. Head on over to Waterfront Park Seattle for a full summer schedule of vibes you don't want to miss.
Right. Welcome back to the Morning Update Show. And we're joined by our good friend, our buddy, our partner, Justin Carter, Capitol Hill Seattle blog. How are you?
Happy Election Day.
Yeah,
Happy Election Day.
Happy Election Day, Justin. Glad to have you with us.
Thanks for having me. What a big day. It's fun to be in this amazing theater and piece of history in Seattle and be able to be part of the show here. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. You've been with us to almost every studio. You know what I'm saying? So our guy. So, okay, I want to check in. We're going to move quickly through a few things here. First of all, coming here to the Paramount this week, we want to talk about, music, entertainment, nightlife, things that are going on in Seattle. We have an article that you wrote. They'll put up the overlay right now. But man, what's going on as far as clubs, vaccination? I heard Capitol Hill, you can't get into a lot of places without a vaccination card, huh?
Well, there's a lot of pent up energy and we see it on a Friday and Saturday night on the Hill. But right now, you'll want to bring something new along with your ID. You need to bring some kind of proof of vaccination for most of the bars. I keep seeing lists being published of all the spots and they're not comprehensive. It's impossible to keep up. New venues every day are saying, yeah, we're joining in for now. You need to show proof of vaccination or for a lot of places, proof that you've had a recent test, negative test for COVID-19.
How's that playing on the? I hardly ever go out, but I was up on the Hill on Friday, man. It felt like Mardi Gras up there. Like it was packed. There was a lot of energy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that much different. It gets pretty crazy up there, and I kind of think maybe they should have vaccination cards year round to kind of help keep things a little more calm and clean. But it's gone pretty well logistically. It definitely causes some backup at some spots. One of the things, though, that has been a big issue is around the country, there's a trolling effort against venues that are doing this. People are leaving fake reviews on Yelp and those kinds of services to criticize them over their decision to require vaccination proof. And that's been an issue. I'm hearing pretty good response from companies like Google and Yelp so far in cleaning that kind of thing up.
Well, I think it's important because right now it's not federally mandated, right? And so that's part of the issue that I feel like is playing out now with patrons. And now it's up to, these club venues and owners of certain spots to hold folks accountable when it isn't coming from the federal level. So what do you think about that and how you see it kind of, playing out over time?
No, it's a real testament to the community around Capitol Hill and the city's nightlife that they've responded in this way. It is definitely a response to the confusion. It's difficult for the bureaucracy of government to do these things around the pandemic. So I can understand sometimes why it can be hard to put a mandate out there. But yeah, the gap is being filled by the clubs and bars, the little guys. Even Harry's bar up on 15th Avenue East has to step up where the federal government has not.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, the Hill was still active. I don't know.
Did you
if
get
people-
turned away? Well, it sounded like you were in a long line. Where were you trying to go?
I'm not getting turned away. Let's be clear. Not on the Hill, man.
Hey, just next time, don't tell them that you know me.
Definitely won't do
Don't
that.
give the disclaimer.
All right. So something else that you wrote about here a few days ago, and I actually took the ranked choice voting that you had up there on CapitolHillSeattle.com. And it was kind of interesting how the results came out. Maybe you could tell people quickly what ranked choice voting is and what the results that you got.
Yeah, this is a dangerous thing to summarize because it's, it's math and it gets
Yeah, it's a
complicated.
lot.
But basically, the concept of ranked choice is instead of just voting for a candidate in an election, you rank the candidates. And that process then is measured out, and votes can be distributed then to multiple candidates from a voter. And that gives what advocates say is a broader, more in-depth system to choose candidates to go through. So in a 2-person primary, like we're dealing with this summer, we did a demonstration of what it would be like to vote for mayor with ranked choice on the site. Completely unscientific. So it's all very biased by the fact that people are choosing to be part of it. So you can look, a lot of the campaigns are saying, hey, cool, we did well on this, but whatever. The real thing is to watch the demonstration of how ranked choice then plays out. Because in this demonstration, the top vote getter in total gross votes doesn't end up going through because of the ranking system. Once other candidates are basically eliminated that didn't get enough votes to kind of qualify through in the rounds of ranked choice voting, their ballots, their top picks are removed, and their underlying picks, the ranks on the vote that voters have submitted, then get distributed. And as that process plays out, candidates will rise in the rankings. And so actually the top 2 vote getters in the demonstration that we posted, they weren't the top vote getter just by the old-fashioned way of doing this.
It reminds me of the Electoral College, Justin. And I'm just saying.
I know.
I
And
mean,
then
do
my
we
nerdy
need to?
explanation does not sell it.
I mean, do we really need to add more confusion already? I think that
It's a lot of people pushing it.
it. Part of me understands wanting to keep it broad, and also wanting as a voter to showcase, well, hey, I think that this person has some really cool points. I also think this person has some really cool points, and being able to be specific about it. But it may be hard for the regular, just everyday voter to understand when we already are having to push for people to be engaged in the process in the first place.
Yeah, no, I don't have a very good response to that. I can't defend it really from the confusion standpoint. It definitely adds a level of maybe unnecessary opacity to the whole thing that we don't really want. As far as the ability, though, to give candidates a different chance at going through and maybe better candidates, that I think has a lot of appeal. I think it's about, every system is going to be flawed, some more than others. We have one that we're comfortable with now, but there is an opportunity, I think, to make change, and maybe some folks that can do a better job even than I have tried to do to explain it. I think watching the demonstration and this kind of practice poll and these kind of surveys need to happen more here. It's still a long way from coming to the ballot. I think what we will see is probably an experiment. There'll probably be a test where it'll be a lesser race, and people will get a chance to see it play out.
Well, shout out to you guys for trying. Yeah.
Look, did I just ruin ranked choice voting in Seattle?
Well, I mean, it's a lot of energy behind it. I know Councilmember Zahalai, so a few people were behind it. We'll look more into it. All right, so you're up in D3, and that's our home district as well. And Sawant recall. Tell us quickly what's going on with that.
Yeah, the most exciting politics in District 3 are probably nothing to do with tonight's vote tally. It's the Recall Sawant campaigns. They're continuing to, as we said in the headline, duke it out. It's a battle over politics and strategy around who's going to collect the signatures to get this thing on the ballot. There's a big push from the Shama Solidarity people to say, hey, look, the recall folks do not want to be on the November general election ballot because they don't want as much turnout. Larger turnout would help Sawant. And the recall folks are in the position of saying that they are aware of these concerns, but are very, they are very, very concerned though about when they submit their signatures running into the same problem that the Compassion Seattle initiative ran into, which is they just saw an unprecedented number of rejected signatures. And so the recall folks think they almost need to collect like twice as many as they need because of the number that are going to get thrown out.
Speaking of Compassion, and this wasn't one of your headlines here, but I saw a release yesterday that said that it's going to go onto the ballot now.
Sure. And actually we did write about it this morning. The city council did a procedural vote on Monday that allows this initiative to now move to King County elections, which will likely place it on the November ballot. It had to have, I think, 30-something thousand signatures to qualify. They had to turn in literally twice that to get it. The Seattle Times reported that a lot of the signatures were from people outside of Seattle. It's just has enthusiasm.
It's amazing how much compassion people outside of Seattle have for Seattle, huh?
And the compassion, the homelessness issue, they talk about it being a regional problem and a regional solution that never materializes. But it really is the number one issue, both in Seattle and also I think when people think of the city right now, it's our big problem to solve. Every mayoral candidate is going to be faced with it. It's a part of the job that I'm not sure really when they win, whoever comes out of this this primary, they're going to be on the hook for the city's problem that hasn't been solved for decades.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we know about city problems that haven't been solved.
Well,
for
there's
decades.
that too, right?
Plenty of issues for sure. Plenty. Yeah.
All right. Before we let you go, man, anything else from the Hill you want to share with us?
Sure. The big thing is that you still have time. We have one of the lowest turnouts of the 2000s shaping up for this primary. Primaries always have a lower turnout. 2015 was like really terrible in the 20s, 20%. We're going to be something around that, but you have time. We've got hours till 8 o'clock tonight.
We were at 35% last time in the primary. That's what Director Wise says. Don't be tardy for the party. We want to make sure and get your ballot in. And now the drop box is closed, I believe, at 8 p.m. And if you're mailing in, it needs to be postmarked. So don't just put it in the mailbox tonight or something. It has to be postmarked today.
And then bring your Vax card or a picture of it and head to a bar on Capitol Hill and celebrate.
Hey, we'll take you up on that.
If you can get in.
Justin Carter, Capitol Hill, Seattle Block. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. It's
Thanks
good to
for
be here.
being with us,
Thank
Justin.
you.
All right, we're going to take a quick break right now. When we come back, we're joined by Washington Post columnist and member of the Seattle Association of Black Journalists, Jerry Brewer. You're watching the Morning Update Show.
Market Street Shoes, slinging kicks since 2006, with styles that support you and yours, getting the F outside or staying comfy when you just want to lounge indoors as well. But wait, Market Street Shoes is way more than just a shoe store. Gear up for your next outdoor adventure with apparel and accessories that'll have you looking good on the streets, the trail, or even in your own backyard. With locations in Ballard, Redmond, and online at marketstreetshoes.com, there's undoubtedly a style and size that'll fit your lifestyle.
Hey, welcome back to the Morning Update Show. My name is Omari Salisbury, and right now we're joined by Washington Post columnist and member of the Seattle Association of Black Journalists, Jerry Brewer.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, welcome
Glad
to the
you could
Morning
join
Update
us.
Show.
Absolutely.
Live at the Paramount, too.
Yeah.
Yes, this is a big deal for me. Like you don't think it is, but this is a huge deal for me. I'm really giddy.
Yeah,
awesome.
Good stuff. So you live here in Seattle, and it seems like you got a great gig because you're writing your column for the Washington Post.
Yes, I was a sports columnist for the Seattle Times for 9 years, 06 to 2015. Fell in love with Seattle. Got the job offer of a lifetime to go to the Post. So we moved the family to DC for 4 years. Then they gave me an opportunity to be a national sports columnist. Said you can live anywhere you want to. I'm a native. I was born in Tennessee, raised in Kentucky, but I was like, babe, we're going back to Seattle. We're going back to your hometown.
Hey, that says a lot, so I mean, if you have some other roots here, your wife has some roots here, that's good to hear because it's good to know that we ranked really high on your choices when they say you can live anywhere you want to.
There's just something about this community, once it gets in you, it's a complicated community, but it's beautiful.
Yeah. We're definitely. I like that because we're definitely complicated and beautiful.
Yeah.
So I'll agree with you on that.
I'll take that.
I know one of the things we're talking about is Black Voices Matter, the special with Connie Thompson and Jesse Jones. But before we get to that, we'll talk a little bit more about the Seattle Association of Black Journalists, which we're both members of.
Yes, I mean the Seattle Association of Black Journalists. I guess I'll take you back to NABJ, the National Association of Black Journalists. We're a chapter there. NABJ started on December 12th, 1975. With 44 members meeting in DC. And it was ultimately like, there aren't many of us in this business. We're all we got. So let's take care of each other. And since then, you're talking about a national organization that's more than 4,000 members strong. For people who've never been to a NABJ summer convention, it's amazing. As a matter of fact, next year it's going to be in Vegas. So finally, we're always like, man, can you move it west? Can you move it west? They're always really hesitant because so many of the members are on the East Coast. But it's an incredible organization. SABJ, we really are just ramping up. And like during the pandemic, like it slowed down a little bit of our momentum, but we've been able to get a lot of things accomplished. But what we want to do more than anything is really make sure that we're reaching out to every journalist, every communicator in the Black community and just saying, hey, we want you to be a part of us. Like, this isn't about walls. This isn't about who works at the Washington Post, who works at Como, who works at King, who works at the Seattle Times. None of that. Who works at the NPR affiliate here, none, KUOW, none of that. Well, we want to be able to get anyone who is in the business of truth seeking. That is what journalism is. And the methods in which we do that have changed, and it's not always about just the mainstream mass media. So we're very much mindful of the fact that we're missing some people, and we want to make sure that we double back and get everyone on board, because we think we're building something that's beautiful, and we also think that we're building something that is inclusive for all journalists and how journalism has changed, especially over the last decade.
Well, I think it's important that you talk about that intentionality. And that was actually one of the questions I was going to have for you when you break down the National Association of Black Journalists and then the Seattle chapter. So do you have to be involved or affiliated with both of them? Or is, for people that are looking to join, do they start with Seattle? Do they start at the national level? How does that work?
Yeah, we'd like you to be involved in both, but there are people who aren't members of the national chapter and don't want to pay the dues there, but then will pay for the local dues. SABJ, it's a $35 membership for the year, $25 for students. You can go to sabjonline.com to get a membership. But we're trying to open that as much as we possibly can, just to make sure people understand that we're here for you.
Yeah, and transitioning to Black Voices Matter here. And actually, you got a picture of SABJ over there, Mr. Director. There we go. There's a few people I see in there. There's Marcus Harrison Green. There's Melissa Hellman. I'm not in there. I gotta get in the next class photo.
We need a new picture. We got elections coming up September. We got to take a new picture together.
We gotta get a new photo. So Black Voices Matter. And these guys will tell you, is our previous studio. And it was such a big deal because Joyce Taylor was coming to the studio. Joyce Taylor came and interviewed me there in the studio. And man, I'd be like, everything had to be perfect. I mean, I was just so excited. And you got to remember, this is coming off of that summer where I did interviews with everybody, whether it was the BBC, the CBC, you know what I'm saying, the Nightline, like all these big platforms and everything else. It's like, yeah, that's cool. But with Joyce Taylor, the SABJ, it was such a big deal because it was us. You know what I'm saying? It was like us. And so it's a really, really great experience. And now this year, this is Connie Thompson and Jesse Jones, right?
Yes. Jesse Jones will be interviewing Connie Thompson. That's on August the 14th, Saturday, August the 14th at 2 p.m. We're charging $10 for those tickets. It's kind of a fundraiser for SABJ. Connie, 46 years that she gave to the TV industry in Seattle. The last 35 years, as a consumer advocate, which I think is always one of the really cool jobs in television journalism. I mean, you're really solving common people's problems. Just a legend and a real trailblazer, not just for the Black community, but for all journalists in this region. So we wanted to have the opportunity, since she retired in December, to give her flowers, tell her story, and have Jesse Jones, and the connection that he has with Connie and the entire region, have them get in a room and have a conversation. We're so grateful that it's going to be at Converge again. And I mean, you're the first Black Voices Matter event. I mean, he had me in tears at home. I had my 8-year-old was like, "Dad, what's going on?" I was like, "Man, this is just so powerful. The stories that he's telling. I think it's going to be in its own way another powerful event."
Yeah. Well, you know what? When you talk about the power of truth seeking, I think it's important to understand that it comes in so many different formats. So I'm glad to hear you say that. And you know what? That's one of the things that really keeps me going here with Converge too, is that it's so organic in that way of, approaching it from our perspective, but making sure that the truth is at the root of it all.
Yeah, there's a big difference between saying something truthful and telling the truth.
Yeah.
Daddy, I broke the door. Like, well, you told me something truthful. How did you break the door?
Right.
Why did you break the door? And I think, especially when we talk about Seattle and the Black community, there are people who are saying truthful things, but are they really telling the truth?
Yeah.
And that's something that, me being a member of just this giant national organization in the Washington Post, we have to be mindful of those blind spots. And I think, and I hope that just an investment in community journalism and really shining a light on people who are all about their community, who live in these communities and who tell the truth, that they get appreciated on the same level as some of these other journalists who might win this shiny national award.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You just broke a whole lot down right there in just a few words. Let's go ahead and put this slide up here, Ike. This is Black Voices Matter. Connie Thompson, that's on the 14th. The link is in the comments. Make sure and put that link there in the comments. Look, everybody, we need to support this. Next week, this is all you're gonna hear me talking about. Is talking about supporting this event. It's for a very good cause. And man, to really honor Connie Thompson. And it's crazy when she retired. I remember we were talking about how much representation matters in growing up in this city and seeing these Black people there on TV and knowing that something was possible. And when you talk about Connie Thompson or Essex Porter, Deborah Horn, you know what I'm saying, who've been committed in their career and right here in the Emerald City, and their dedication and them being on screen as, being young, you're like, yo, I could do that. So.
Yeah, it's incredible. And it's whenever I brushed up against them at events over the years and you just see people, I mean, it's hard for them to do their job because of how much they mean to people. I mean, they are real life celebrities when you see them out in the field. And I could just sort of like stand in the background, I'm the word herder with my notebook doing my thing. But like to see them, it's incredible. And that's just something that is unique to the Seattle community, that we have some of these real legends who have decided that they wanted to like plant roots in this region and not go to LA, not go to New York, not go to those other regions.
Yeah, I talk about that all the time in terms of creativity, and being a content creator, what it really means to be able to be right here in the city that we grew up in and love so much, and understand that there's so much value in these stories that are normally undertold. So I appreciate you saying that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I mean it. Absolutely.
All right. Jerry Brewer, Washington Post columnist, member of the Seattle Association of Black Journalists. And you could tell he's at the Post, so clearly he's paying the dues to NABJ as well. We ain't got to worry about, local dues or national dues. Black Voices Matter. That's Saturday the 14th. The link is there in the comments. We want to challenge every single viewer. It's $10. It's for a great cause. It's going to scholarship fund, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? Let's support the youth, next generation of up and coming journalists. We're going to take a quick break right now. When we come back, we're joined by Adam Zacks, the Chief Programming Officer here at STG. You're watching the Morning Update Show.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Back on this rap ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't missing my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own, tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.
Market Street Shoes, slinging kicks since 2006, with styles that support you and yours, getting the F outside or staying comfy when you just want to lounge indoors as well. But wait, Market Street Shoes is way more than just a shoe store. Gear up for your next outdoor adventure with apparel and accessories that'll have you looking good on the streets, the trail, or even in your own backyard. With locations in Ballard, Redmond, and online at marketstreetshoes.com, there's undoubtedly a style and size that'll fit your lifestyle.
All right, welcome back to the Morning Update Show. And remember, today, Election Day in the primary. Man, get up, get out, go vote. There's no excuse not to vote. Man, we can do better than 35%. Welcoming to the Morning Update Show set here in the Paramount, Adam Zacks, Chief Programming Officer at STG. How are you?
I'm good.
All right.
Hey, thanks for joining us, Adam. Yeah.
I'm good.
Good
What's
energy.
Up? What's up? What's happening? Okay, so before we dive into it, maybe you can tell us briefly. I think the title kind of says it all, but maybe not. Chief Programming Officer. What's it all about?
So I oversee the programming for Seattle Theater Group at our 3 historic theaters, the Paramount, the Moore, and the Neptune. And that includes all sorts of things like Broadway, comedy, concerts, fine arts, dance, all sorts of stuff. And we do over 700 shows a year in a typical year. And we can't wait for a typical year.
So I heard that this is a LaBelle said yesterday, 700 shows a year and basically a million guests. And I'm wondering how you push through 700 shows and still got all your hair.
It's creeping back. I mean,
oh man, I know Trey has some questions for you too, but I had a few quick ones before I toss it over to Trey. In programming, just in a general sense, through your career, what are some sure shots? Like, okay, if we get this in here, I know we're going to sell it out.
Oh, I wish there was such a thing. But in my experience, there's no sure shots. But right now, comedy is a sure shot. Like, we keep putting comedy shows on sale and they're selling out. We add another show, it sells out. So that pretty clearly tells me people need to laugh. People need some levity right now. So that's about as bankable as you can get.
And
right now,
what's the risk? What do you look at and you're like, I mean, whether right now or just your years in the industry, you're like, I don't know.
What to stay away from?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's a tough question, but usually once an artist hits the casino circuit, which is really lucrative for some of those artists, it's usually a sign that maybe they've peaked in terms of it might be hard for them to come back and sell what we call a hard ticket in the city and the Paramount once they've crossed over into, state fairs and casinos. So, but it happens sometimes.
Man, that's a good bit of advice, Trey.
Yeah. I mean, well, when you talk about, certain things, I think there's shows that also rise with the changing of the tides, right? And so, LaBelle was talking about it off camera yesterday, just like how Hamilton just kind of blew up the scene with regard to, shows that are really injecting racial equality and equity into the work. How have you kind of seen that happen over the years?
Well, yeah, I mean, talk about bankable. Hamilton's probably the most bankable thing on the planet right now. And, besides just being so successful commercially, yeah, it was an incredible breakthrough just in terms of a lot of things with that show. But the casting was an incredible breakthrough and a creative risk that they took that really, I think, opened people's eyes to a new way of thinking about things and not just in theater, but across all sorts of live entertainment.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that we really got into yesterday was that there's some real intentionality to include Black community, to include communities that have historically been more excluded from the access to these venues. What kind of role do you play in that as Chief Programming Officer?
Well, this has been a giant awakening for all of us, and in a lot of ways the last year and a half plus. And it's not just about who you're putting on the stages. It's about who's in the audience as well. And that means creating a welcoming environment. And it's taken some time for us to learn, what does that mean? You can't just say we're the theater for the people and our doors are open for everyone. You have to, with intentionality, create real relationships like this. This is an example of it. In order to send a signal that we really are open for everybody. So yes, it's important to see people that look like yourself on the stage. If you see it, you can be it, that means something. That's real. But it's also about creating an environment, a culture where everybody truly feels welcome.
Yeah. And lastly, for me, I mean, what are some of the, shows coming up that folks can kind of look to get out of the house and come enjoy that you may be excited about?
Well, we're really anticipating the reopening of this theater, August 21st and 22nd. The Black Pumas will be the first ticketed show to happen here. The performance you've been broadcasting here have been the actual first shows on the stage in over a year and a half, which is just incredible. But that Black Pumas one, there should be some pretty incredible energy in the house that night.
Right on.
Yeah, no, that's dope. It's a great feeling to be to be in here. By the way, on the programming side, one of the things that the executive director Josh LaBelle said yesterday is more intentionality around, well, he said one of the things he's most excited about is more local artists and then also artists of color.
Yeah, certainly. So there's so much local talent in Seattle. Definitely. And we really see it as a giant opportunity to play a bigger role in elevating voices. And there's a lot of ways that can look, but the reopening of the Neptune was an example of what we hope to do a lot more of. And we track all the demographics of the artists we have on our stage, so we can see where there's holes and where there's communities where we're not fulfilling our obligation to present entertainment that's meaningful to all communities. And it's really comes back to that word that you brought up a couple of times, intentionality. It's all well and good to have the desire to do something, but without the intentionality, you never create the change. And I see it happening now. So it's a pretty exciting time here.
Glad you can speak about it, Adam. Great to have you here and letting us know kind of what's going on from your perspective at these three amazing theaters that you get to, be a part of. Absolutely.
700
Yeah, it's crazy.
You stay. Look, we thought we was busy over here at the morning update show. You definitely stay busy. Best thing is we're going to take a break right now, and we're actually going to go into the auditorium. We've got a performance from Shakiah. Tat out. There it is. You on those graphics here today. And then follow that up with Cool Nutz. And so we're now going to go to the music phase. We get to go in the auditorium. You are watching the Morning Update Show.
Hey, Seattle, if you're trying to find something to do this summer, I got the perfect thing for you. Come on down to Seattle Waterfront's Pier 62 and enjoy free, yes, free, family-friendly events all summer long, like art, dance, music, storytelling. And if you're trying to get that body right before the summer is over, you might as well join their free yoga and fitness classes. Head on over to Waterfront Park Seattle for a full summer schedule of vibes you don't want to miss.
Hey, it's me, downtown Seattle, C-Town. Wish you were here. Here to explore inside, outside, and everywhere in between. Where it's easy to get my good side. Here, where my rooftops invite you to come early and stay late. Where every view is a postcard, and each night out might be your best night ever. See you soon. Love, C-Town.
The Morning Update Show is going back on the road, and this time we're headed to Seattle's iconic Paramount Theater. Join me, Trey Holiday, and the rest of the Morning Update Show crew August 2nd through August 6th as we broadcast live from one of Seattle's most iconic landmarks and put a focus on the arts, culture, and music right here in the Emerald City. That's the Morning Update Show live from the Paramount Theater, August 2nd through August 6th from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., streaming across all Converge media platforms.
2016.
Yeah, that's not the trend.
Sir Cool
Nutz.
We officially in the building.
Wrong
Let's
track.
get it.
Shout out to Converge. Y'all excited? Yes. No worries. I just love what is being done. Converge is doing a great work, keeping their boots on the ground, really connecting with community. You know what? We could go on ahead and do this a cappella. All right. Hey, there it is. All right. I'm about to tell y'all a little story. Got a little dream I had. It's about the community, speaking like the dead things. Yeah. Here we go. Man, I had a dream of a mausoleum, a valley of dry bones so scattered I couldn't see him. Being then through the valley, a ghost like guy leading me, asking me if I could ever see him back on their feet again. All I see is bones. I'm not catching the meaning, and then he tells me if I speak, tell him to live again. I envision me on what I'm looking at, it's even, and I would see an army like I've never seen before. And so I speak, and bones start lifting off the floor, create a clamor and a rattling, ligaments, Google mapping, and navigate the way back to stomping grounds before fracturing relationships, breach of agreements and broken covenants. The place before your brethren started turning on brethren. Major shift hit with that first appeared to be dead. I said warfare drums at a distance and saw red flags waving, wild joints connecting, torsos spine ahead. In the midst of being terrified, this ghostly guy said you had it wrong. I said to sing a new song, not the strong arm in the strength of Babylon. Now I speak calm. Hip you to your right and your left palm. Your clap carries the power to disarm. So I started to clap and watch it push everything back. Such a foolish and a silly task. Nonetheless, I clapped and started seeing things move back. I'm not sure how to react, because now I'm looking at fully assembled skeletons with nothing inside. Have no tendons or no sinews, no ears or no eyes. The guy asked me if I thought the bones could come back to life. I couldn't answer, cause I barely believed my eyes. But he said, speak, and watch flesh come upon them in 3D, command the east to release the wind of God to blow over these formerly deceased. And so I didn't watch the wind work, and now I'm mind blown berserk. That speaking life actually work. What emerged is an army of ready to move. Judah on the front line with a drum line to the truth. Imagine if I never spoke. I had too much pride to use. The foolish method of a clap to bring a breakthrough. Dream faded poof. Jolted up my PJ, sweating through the dream. Playing back to back like Drake and A-Ball loops. Trouble trying to recoup. Then I thought about what the guy told me to do. Stood up in my room and made a move. I had it all wrong. I'm supposed to sing a new song, apply to 18. Song to my right and my left palm, my light is on. I'm fighting, but my weaponry was wrong. My clap carries the power to disarm. So I started to clap and watch it push everything back. Such a foolish and a silly task. Nonetheless, I clapped and started dropping off my back. Treasure came up out of my trash. And trash was what I am until somebody told me different. What if nobody ever used the foolish to come get me? What if they never picture past my unrefined image? Instead left me for dead butter and bread for the pigeons. What if they put me in a box because of how I looked? Took one look at the cover, wrote me off and tossed the book. Threw the baby out with the bathwater cause all they saw were bones. And never cared enough to speak some life cause I look gone. Now I'm singing a new song. I speak life into your bones. Life into your circumstances, situations, homes. Comfort weeping grandmothers and sons, make it home. Restoration to the minds of these girls acting grown. Stop killing your community. Live in your community. I know it looks bleak, but speak life to your community. Stop killing your community. Live in your community. I know it looks bleak, but speak life to your community. I'm not.
Oh my word, fire. And the crowd goes wild. Shakiah. Oh my word. Okay. I just gotta say, I was over there rocking because you are the kind of artist that I so appreciate with deep messaging in your music. Let's understand a little bit about what brings you that inspiration as an artist.
I think it's a combination of experiences, being burdened for people, and then just wanting to say it in a way that is brash as possible, as vulnerable as possible, as raw as possible. And then I think it's also cathartic to get it out, so and to me, music is no different from intercession. So that's really what this is.
Wow. I mean, literally, I was having the biggest goosebumps over there because it is so powerful and the passion comes through so much. Now, I met you and you were doing programming. So you're doing a ton of different things. What other hats are you wearing? Because you're not just an artist. You actually are out here curating shows and content for people to experience artistry that's not just coming from you.
Well, I mean, honestly, I'm on the end of a break because at first I was doing a lot of stuff in the community. But I think we were just having this conversation. Community period is just, to me, good food, good music, good people. And I'm always keeping the dinner table in mind. How many ways can we get the community to keep coming to the table? Sharing a meal, sharing some music, sharing some conversation. I love projects that can be as intergenerational as possible. And so to be honest with you, I'm not doing as much as I was at one point, but emceeing and being into choreography it's been for years.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I'm so inspired by you. How can people get in touch with you, get your music if they want to book you for shows? What does that look like? And how do they connect with you? Because you're phenomenal.
I appreciate it. I'll be honest, right now, I'm not booking like crazy for shows. I'm still being careful, with the pandemic and everything, but you can always find me on social media. Miss Shakiah Emcee, Emcee, SABJ, Emcee. Music is on iTunes, Spotify, just my first name, Shakiah. I'm too grown to be like little MC something, just Shakiah. And yeah, not hard to find. Got a couple ciphers, got a couple features. There's some stuff floating around there. So, just check me out.
Wow,
Yeah.
Shakiah, thank you so much again for
you.
gracing us with your amazing artistry and talent. I was seriously blown away with that. I didn't even know what to expect. So I gotta be honest, I was just blown away. I hope you guys are blown away too.
Yeah,
Coming up
appreciate it.
after this break, we have Big O coming back onto the stage with our guy, Cool Nutz. He's been here before. He's gonna bring you some dope artistry as well. You're watching the Morning Update Show.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Back on this rap ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't miss my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own, tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.
That's right, y'all. Cool Nutz, Northeast Portland representative. Big shout out to Converge Media for having me. Let's get it going.
2016.
Yes, Sir Cool Nutz.
We officially in the building.
Let's get it. Paper, bread, money, guap. Aspire for my dreams, reach for the top. Gouda, Yaper, Skrilla, dough. Have you heard a Portland rapper with a triller flow? Paper, bread, money, guap. Aspire for my dreams, reach for the top. Gouda, Yaper, Skrilla, dough. Have you heard a Portland rapper with a triller flow? Knee deep in the trap, chasing wealth. He wanted True Religion jeans and a Gucci belt. I wanted condos, land, acres, plots. Every day that we trapped on those D-boy spots. The gang task popo was scorching hot. I had a bass head working to brush my knots. Old school swing on these Northeast blocks. Would you hop a couple gates to shake the cops? We talking blappers on deck to fend the ops. Caprice on toners to bend the blocks. Old school in the cutlass, never hitting the rail. We on that. I need everybody in here. Put your hands up. Paper, bread, money, guap. Aspire for my dreams, reach for the top. Gouda, Yaper, Skrilla, dough. Have you heard a Portland rapper with a triller flow? Paper, bread, money, guap. Aspire for my dreams, reach for the top. Gouda, Yaper, Skrilla, dough. Have you heard a Portland rapper with a triller flow? I came in this rap game extra tough. You got a couple slick bars, but it ain't enough. You's a snotty nose sucker, a young street punk. I'm on 15th and kill with some slap in the trunk. A couple turf classics on extra slap. Kick back like a pimp when you hear my raps. The tracksuit velvet on some player. I've been money motivated, all about my grip. Throw a peace sign player on the decum strip. I see my woodline partners like, what's up? I strike through 13th, bucking and yoking. On top shelf, what my partners was smoking. Backwood swishers, Heem and Goose. My stomp down partner sat up on the guts and the plucks was extra plush. We finessing and macking with a gangster's touch. We talking paper, bread, money, guap. Aspire for my dreams, reach for the top. Gouda, Yaper, Skrilla, dough. Have you heard a Portland rapper with a triller flow? We talking paper, bread, money, guap. Aspire for my dreams, reach for the top. Gouda, Yaper, Skrilla, dough. Have you heard a Portland rapper with a triller flow? Yes, yes. Converge Media, Cool Nuts, Portland in the building.
My guy, Cool Nuts.
What's up, man? How you
What's
doing?
up, brother? Yo, so it's crazy right here. So me and Cool Nuts, we go back before even these gray hairs, man. You know what I'm saying? A long time here in music, Northwest, and then national. Was popping it overseas
In Dubai, to be exact.
Dubai together as well. But one of the main reasons, man, we were here in the Paramount, and it's a stage here, performance, is because when we very first launched the Morning Update show almost 18 months ago, and I mean, we really didn't know. I mean, we knew like COVID information, but we still had to fill an hour. It was 2 hours at the time of programming. You were one of the very first people and the first artist that I reached out to. And I was like, man, I need an interview. I need to do this and that. You was like, yo, you were with it, man. I really appreciate your support of the Morning Update show from day one.
Yeah. Nah, I appreciate you always having me, man. And like you said, we go far back all the way to Spokane to Dubai. And that's a wide spread of territory that we done covered together, man. So I always appreciate the looks and the love.
You know, from Maine to Spain, from Turkey to Albuquerque, from hot poop and Walla Walla.
No, for real.
Yo, hey, man, I appreciate it. We're trying to get the word out about Converge down there in Portland, in the Rose City.
No, most definitely. And I think it's a platform that should be welcomed. And that's one of the reasons why I came up, because I know anytime I can help support in terms of expanding the growth and the reach of what you're trying to do and just the good words. And even the people up here, like a young lady who was up here before me, she killed it, man. And everybody that you had on the show today. So it's always dope to play a part in helping expose other people to it.
All right, we're going to be down in Rose City soon.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, that's what's up. We're going to take a quick break right now, and we're going to close out the Morning Update show.
I did it for the city, I did it for the love, I did it for the people, I did it for us.
Back on this rap ish, I ain't even broke a sweat, homie, this practice. Pondering my next move, staring at my track list, hope I ain't miss my window. Praying like a Baptist, Seattle's own. Tired of this Game of Thrones. They made a list of the best rappers, and guess who wasn't on? While the disrespect continues, I'm steady packing these venues.
Converge Media produces culturally relevant content for Black and urban audiences. Our coverage is raw, transparent, and objective, praised by community leaders, government officials, and residents. Support Converge Media today via Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal at Converge Media.
You see, that was a quick set change there.
There it is. Hey.
Big shout out to Cool Nuts and to Shakiah. You know, I mean, this is a dope element.
Yeah, it really is. And honestly, they both just showed up and showed out, man. That's the beautiful thing about this, is that, you know, with that amazing stage, we're making use of it over here at the Paramount, man.
Yo, the Paramount stage is no joke. I mean, well, like looking out, it's like, okay, here's what, but when you look up, and you look up and you see the balconies and you see the rooftops and everything, man, it's really, really dope.
It really is, man. It's a beautiful thing to be here. And I'm really glad that we can showcase some of our amazing talent right here at the Paramount. Beautiful time.
Speaking of being here, we got seats for you for our studio audience. I don't know if they have the link handy right now, but if not, you can always go to whereweconverge.com/post to our blog. And you'll see in there the articles about the Paramount. There's a form to fill out. Space is limited here, but you know, you're more than welcome here. We always love when our people show up. Bar ain't open though, but don't show out like that.
Yeah, but come and join us, man. It's been a beautiful thing. We had great energy here starting yesterday, and we want to continue it throughout the week. So please, you know, make sure you're coming out. Bring your family, friends. I mean, that's what it's about, you know? Yeah,
tomorrow we've got Besa Gordon. We've got David Green, who's the director of special projects here. So he got it up there on the screen. David Allen. And then Zozer, And then for musical, and then there's a surprise act tomorrow. We're overtime, Trey Holiday. Any last words before we get out of here?
You guys know, for me, just find a way to be a part of the solution. As we've been hearing from the STG staff right over here, from folks that really care, that, hey, it takes all of us, man. It takes all of us to be intentional. So I hope you guys take that with you and find a way to make your energy intentional out there as part of some amazing solutions that are necessary in your community.
All right. Let me get this camera right here. We'll look everybody dead in the eye. I tell you, man, you need to vote today. If you have not voted, man, don't be that person. This is real serious. And we talk about voting. That could be a whole nother hour show, talking about how much voting means to us and everything else. Get out and vote. Do your part. Do your part. I can't stress it enough. A 35% turnout is not enough. And for you people that don't vote, you might as well delete your social media and everything else. Because if you want them people who don't vote and just want to sit there and be commented and tweeting and everything else, like, man, you got to vote. Get your voice heard. On that note, though, we're going to get out of here. So I'll remind you. There we go. Remind you, our seats are opposite today, to go forward in your purpose, go forward in your humanity. And until tomorrow at 11 a.m., live right here from the Paramount. Peace.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun.